Wow, that's such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? Let's learn how to build a McQueen.
Round 1.
I start with the bumper because the front of McQueen is the first thing everyone knows. I use red wool for most of it since McQueen is a bright red race car, and wool gives me a soft cartoon look. That is good here because this car is not a real photo car. It is a character, so softer shapes help. Down in the middle, I make his mouth from white wool. I pick white because the smile needs to stand out from the red body fast. A face on a car works a lot like a face on a person. The eyes and mouth must be easy to read from far away, or the character feels dead. I also keep the bumper low and wide. That helps the car look fast, because race cars usually stay close to the ground to feel stable in turns. If I made the bumper too high, McQueen would look more like a bus than a race car. So even this first part matters a lot for speed, balance, and the whole personality of the build. Now I move to the right front wheel. I build it from black wool, light gray wool, and gray wool. I use black for the tire because tires need to look heavy and dark. Then I add the lighter grays in the center to make the rim and to fake a little bit of depth. A wheel is not just a flat black circle, it has layers, and those layers help it look mechanical. I try to make the wheel thick enough because race car wheels carry a lot of weight and also help absorb force from the road. In Minecraft, a wheel can never be perfectly round, so color is very important. Dark outer blocks and lighter center blocks tell the eye where the tire ends and where the rim starts. I place this wheel carefully under the front because alignment matters. If the wheel sits too far out or too far in, the whole car shape feels wrong. McQueen needs to look like he can roll straight down the track and not wobble all over the place. Above the bumper, I build the signal lights, or maybe the headlights area, from yellow wool and white wool. Yellow is a nice choice because lights should look bright and easy to notice. White helps give them that shiny reflection look. Headlights are very important on a vehicle because they tell the viewer where the front is right away. They also break up the giant red surface, and that is good design. A big wall of one color can get boring. Small light details make the face more interesting. After that, I go to the left side and build the second front wheel the same way as the first one. I use the same black, gray, and light gray wool, so the front stays balanced. Symmetry is really important on cars. If the left and right wheels do not match, the car looks broken. Matching front wheels also help the car feel stable, because the eye expects the weight to be shared evenly on both sides. McQueen is starting to look less like a red block and more like a real cartoon racer. Next, I work on the hood and keep using red wool. The hood is one of the biggest surfaces on McQueen, so I need it to feel smooth and wide. A race car hood should look like air can slide over it easily. That is one reason fast cars are low and rounded. Then I go higher and build the big eyes using white wool, blue wool, and black wool. McQueen's eyes are super important because he is a character first and a car second. White gives me the eyeballs, blue gives me the iris color, and black gives me the pupils so he looks alive and focused. I I make the eyes large because cartoon characters need clear expressions. Tiny eyes would get lost on such a big hood. I also place them high up where the windshield area should be. In the car's world, the windshield acts like a face, and that is a clever design idea because it gives a car a place to show emotion without changing the body too much. Now I begin the right side of McQueen. I use red wool again for the main body so everything keeps the same bright race car color. Then I build the 95 from white wool. White works really well because numbers need to be easy to read against the red body. After that, I decorate the number with yellow lightning shapes and an orange stripe. This part matters a lot because racing cars need identity. Color graphics help viewers understand speed, team style, and personality. The lightning shape is a very smart symbol because lightning already means quick movement in people's minds. The orange stripe helps connect the yellow parts to the red body so the side graphic does not look lonely. I keep the side long and low because race cars usually use long sidelines to make the body feel fast even when standing still. That is one of my favorite tricks in design. A car can look like it is moving just because the colors and shapes point the eye toward the back. With the right side mostly done, I build the right rear wheel using the same black wool, gray wool, and light gray wool pattern. Keeping the rear wheel similar to the front wheel is very important because the car needs visual balance. A race car also needs strong rear wheels because the back of the car often carries a lot of power and traction. When the engine pushes the car forward, the rear area feels important, so a good strong wheel shape helps sell that idea. I make sure the rear wheel sits in the right place under the body. If it is too close to the front wheel, the car looks short and silly. If it is too far back, the rear feels stretched. Wheel spacing changes the whole feel of a vehicle. This is a simple physics idea too. The distance between front and rear wheels helps control stability. So even though I am just stacking wool blocks, I still think a little about how a real car stands and where its weight should seem to rest. After that, I go to the left side and repeat the same main shape. I build the red side body first because the sidewall gives me the biggest surface to read the car from. Then I make the graphics again so both sides match. This matters because famous characters need to look recognizable from every angle. If one side had the 95 and the other side was blank, the build would feel unfinished right away. Matching side graphics also make the car feel professionally designed. Real race cars use the same sponsor style and number logic on both sides for easy recognition on the track. I keep the yellow lightning and orange line in the same general position to preserve that racing energy. Repeating details is not boring when it helps the object feel correct. In fact, repetition is one of the strongest tools in design. It tells the viewer that the shape is intentional. McQueen is a polished race car character, so both sides need to speak the same visual language. Now I finish the left rear wheel the same way as the right one. Once both back wheels are in place, the car finally feels fully grounded. Wheels do a lot more than let a car move. They also decide whether the vehicle looks heavy, fast, strong, or weak. Small wheels on a big body can make the car look like a toy. Thick wheels with a clear rim help McQueen feel like a proper racer. I check the stance from the side and make sure the front and rear heights feel even enough. A slight sporty shape is nice, but the whole car still needs to feel planted on the road. I like using the lighter grays in the center because they make the wheel area more interesting than just a dark circle. Texture and contrast are really helpful when the shape is hard to make perfectly round. The more I add these matching parts, the more the build starts reading like one complete machine instead of many separate chunks of red wool and wheel pieces. I move to the back and finish the rear body from red wool. The rear of a car is easy to forget, but it matters because people often see the back as the car drives away. I keep this section rounded enough to fit McQueen's soft cartoon style. A real race car often has a shaped rear end to help air move away smoothly. And even though this is Minecraft, the same idea helps the build look faster and less boxy. I make sure the body closes properly around the rear wheels so it feels like one shell around the machine. A car body should wrap around the inside parts and not just float above them. This rear section also helps connect the side graphics and the roof shape that I will finish later. If the back is too flat, the build looks cut off. If it is too wide, it can ruin the sleek silhouette. So I try to keep it simple, rounded, and neat, like McQueen is ready to race and not just sit still forever. Now I build the right side windows from white glass and place red wool between them as separators. I use white glass because the windows need to look reflective and bright, almost like the sky is hitting them. The red wool between them works as body pillars, and that is useful because real cars need frame parts between glass sections for strength. Then I do the same on the left side so the cabin looks balanced from both directions. Windows are very important in a car build because they help define the cabin area and tell the viewer where the inside space would be. Without windows, the top of the car would just feel like one red lump. The contrast between soft wool and cleaner glass also helps the build. Different materials are a good way to separate body parts. Wool feels like cartoon bodywork, while glass feels like smooth, reflective surface. Even in a stylized build, those differences matter. They keep the car easy to understand and make each area do its own visual job. To finish my McQueen, I fill the bottom of the car with red wool and make it as even and flat as I can. A smooth underside helps the whole build feel cleaner and more complete. Then, I build the rear window and move to the trunk area. From there, I make the spoiler using red wool and yellow wool. The spoiler is a very cool part because it makes the car look sporty right away. In real racing, a spoiler can help push the car down with air so the tires grip the road better at high speed. Even if this is a cartoon car, that racing logic still makes the shape feel right. Finally, I cover the roof with red wool, so the top line of McQueen looks complete from front to back. Once the roof is closed, the whole silhouette reads properly. Now, I have the face, the side graphics, the windows, the wheels, and the spoiler. It is not the cleanest or most pro build ever, but I think it looks very much like McQueen, and that makes me happy. Phew! It took so much effort. Great! My McQueen is ready.
Oh, wow!
We're gonna build McQueen today. I love building cars. Mikey has probably already built his McQueen. Let's have a look. Wow, Mikey, you made such a beautiful animated version of McQueen. He's just like in a cartoon.
JJ, thanks. I didn't expect you to like it.
Mikey, of course, I can see that you tried very hard.
Oh, that's it. Stop praising me. Maybe then you can build a better McQueen than mine?
Of course, we ran to the place.
JJ, I'm not sure you're going to make it. But in any case, good luck to you. I'll wait for you at the house.
Thanks, then I'll start. Round 2. I begin my McQueen by building the bumper from red concrete. Red concrete is a strong material choice for this project because Lightning McQueen is known for a bright, clean red body, and concrete gives a smoother finish than wool. That smoothness matters when I want the car to look more polished and closer to a showroom model than a soft toy. I shape the bumper low and wide because race cars need a front profile that feels aerodynamic and close to the ground. A low bumper suggests speed, stability, and reduced air resistance. At this stage, I also begin marking where the front wheels will sit using black concrete. I do this early because wheel placement controls the stance of the whole car. If the wheels are too close together, the car looks short and unstable. If they are too far apart, the body proportions stop feeling natural. The front is the identity of any car, so solving the bumper and wheel spacing first gives the rest of the build a much stronger foundation. I continue with the wheels using black concrete as the main material. Black is the obvious and effective choice because tires need to read as dense, heavy, and practical. I keep the wheel shapes broad and clear so they feel strong enough to support a race car body. In vehicle design, wheels do more than suggest movement. They also establish scale. A wheel that is too small makes the car feel toy-like, while one that is too large can turn a race car into a monster truck. I balance the height of the wheels against the bumper and the future hood, so the body will sit low but not scrape the ground visually. Concrete is useful here because its smooth color makes the wheel silhouette easy to read from a distance. I also think about the wheel arches that will come later. A good wheel needs room around it because cars are not just blocks sitting on circles. The body should wrap around the wheel while still leaving enough visible tire to suggest function and power. Next, I build the hood from red concrete and add yellow concrete accents. This is an important stage because the hood is one of the largest surfaces on McQueen, and large surfaces need both shape and color logic. Red remains the main body color because it is the heart of the character, while yellow helps create graphic energy and ties into his racing identity. Yellow accents work especially well on red because the contrast is strong and lively without becoming messy. I keep the hood broad and slightly rising toward the windshield area so the front feels confident and fast. In car design, the hood often guides the eye from the nose to the cabin, so it should not feel flat and dead. Even in Minecraft, a little height change and color variation can make a simple shape much more dynamic. This hood also prepares the area where McQueen's eyes will sit, so I need it to act like both a mechanical front section and a character face support. I move to the right side and build the main body panel using red concrete, yellow concrete, and orange concrete. The side of McQueen is where racing identity really comes alive. A race car needs strong side graphics because the side profile is what people see as the car speeds past them. Red provides the large stable base, yellow suggests speed and electricity, and orange acts as a transition color between the two. This is an excellent palette for motion graphics because it makes the eye travel quickly along the car from front to back. I keep the side long and smooth because smooth, long lines imply forward motion even when the car is standing still. That is one of the most useful ideas in vehicle design. Shapes and colors can create a feeling of movement without any animation at all. I make sure the side remains low over the wheel area so the body feels sleek and aerodynamic. A high side wall would make the car feel slower and heavier. After the right side is established, I repeat the same material logic on the left side. Symmetry is critical for a car build. Unlike a creature, which can sometimes use asymmetry for personality, a race car depends on balanced left and right proportions to feel engineered. I use the same red, yellow, and orange concrete mix, so both sides clearly belong to one design language. This keeps the body coherent from every angle and helps the build feel intentional instead of improvised. While working on the left side, I also start thinking about how the side panels connect to the rear wheel area. On a race car, the line of the body should flow naturally from the front wheel arch to the rear wheel arch. That flow is what makes the side read as fast. If the side graphics break that flow, the car feels clumsy. By keeping the lines controlled and the colors consistent, I create a stable, readable profile that supports both the character design and the racing theme. At the rear, I place the back wheels from black concrete. Rear wheels are especially important on a race car because the back of the car often communicates power, traction, and planted stability. I match their size and position carefully with the front wheels to preserve the overall wheelbase. Wheelbase is a simple but important concept. It is the distance between the front and rear wheels, and it strongly affects whether a car feels balanced. A race car should have a wheelbase that looks long enough for speed, but compact enough for tight turning. I also keep enough body space around the rear wheels so the wheel arches can feel believable later. Large exposed rear wheels often make a vehicle look aggressive and ready to launch forward. And that suits McQueen very well. The dark rear wheels also help anchor the back of the car visually, making sure the body does not feel like it is floating or too light toward the rear section. Now I build McQueen's eyes on the front using white concrete, black concrete, and light blue concrete. This is one of the most important steps because McQueen is not just a car. He is a character with emotion and personality. White concrete forms the large eye area. Black defines the pupils and stronger expression points. And light blue gives the irises that familiar animated look. I place the eyes in the windshield zone because that is how the car's design works so well. It turns the front glass into a face while preserving the body shape of a vehicle. This is a great example of character design. Instead of adding a human face onto a car randomly, the design uses parts of the car itself to carry the expression. I keep the eyes large and easy to read. For children especially, expression needs to be clear at a glance. Big eyes with simple, strong colors help the build feel alive immediately and stop it from looking like only a red racing shell. With the eyes finished, I extend the cabin using red concrete and light gray concrete. The red remains on the body sections, so the cabin stays integrated into the rest of the car, while light gray becomes the window material. I choose light gray instead of pure white, because windows often look reflective rather than fully bright. Light gray suggests glass catching light from the sky and surroundings. The cabin is an important zone because it connects the front character face to the rear body mass. If the cabin is too tall, McQueen loses his sporty profile. If it is too small, the character proportions stop feeling right. I shape the window area so it sits naturally above the side panels and below the future rear section. In vehicle design, the cabin is often where the most careful transitions happen. It has to join front and back smoothly while still looking like a place where a driver could exist. Here, it also supports the personality of the character, so it must remain soft and readable. At the rear, I build the trunk from red concrete. The trunk area is very important because it completes the aerodynamic silhouette of the car. A good rear section should feel slightly lifted and clean, not just like the body was chopped off at the end. I make sure the trunk line flows naturally from the cabin so the whole upper body stays smooth. After that, I add the spoiler using orange concrete and yellow concrete, along with more red around it. A spoiler is one of the key visual signs of a racing car. It tells the viewer this machine is made for speed and competition. In real racing, spoilers help control airflow and increase downforce, which keeps the car pressed more firmly to the road at high speed. That idea is useful here too, because the spoiler makes the rear feel purposeful rather than empty. The orange and yellow colors also help the spoiler stand out from the red body, turning it into a visual highlight that finishes the silhouette strongly. It looks good. The materials are clean, the proportions are solid, and the colors clearly read as McQueen. But I can already tell something important. This model is not going to beat Mikey's by enough. His build has a lot of charm, and mine, while polished, still feels like a normal-sized sculpture. So I make a strategic decision. Earlier, I already built a much larger and far more detailed McQueen. Since this is Minecraft and commands are part of the building toolkit, I decide to use that advantage. This is not only a trick, it is also a lesson about workflow. So, I use a command and paste my previously built McQueen onto my side of the area. Suddenly, there is a gigantic, highly detailed McQueen towering over the build space. The difference is incredible. The larger scale gives every feature more room to breathe. The eyes are bigger and more expressive. The wheel arches read more clearly. The body curves feel smoother. And the racing graphics have more impact because they are not squeezed into a small surface. This is one of the biggest advantages of scale in Minecraft. When a build gets larger, the builder can use more block steps to fake curves and more shades to fake depth. That often makes the final object look far more realistic or far more polished. My giant McQueen instantly feels like a centerpiece instead of just a model. It has a strong silhouette, clear facial expression, and much richer surface detail. Sometimes the smartest move in a challenge is not building from zero. Great, my McQueen is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
Wow, JJ, did you manage to build such a huge McQueen? I'm shocked! That's the skill. I wouldn't have had time to build it in my whole life.
Thank you, Mikey. I am very glad that you liked my building. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.